Would I have you hold? Okay, so let's get some real quick. If I ask you, bro, you say you believe in God, right? Let's get that. I'm gonna show you a couple scriptures. I want to show you a couple points, and I want you to think: do you really believe God, or have you thought you believe God? You get what I'm saying? And I'm provoking your thought for a reason. That way it can provoke you to kind of be like, oh, snap, I didn't know that. Now you can change and take the steps you might not have. Maybe you did know it. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
The book of SIRACH, chapter 32, verse 24. He that believeth in the Lord.
Because you say you believe, right? Brothers and sisters across the street, if you say you believe God.
He that believeth in the Lord, taketh heed to the commandment.
He said you take heed to the commandments, meaning if God says go left, you're going to go left. If he says jump, you're going to jump. So now we said he that believe will take heed to the commandments of God. Is that it? Go ahead.
And he that trusted in him shall fare never the worse.
Right, if you trust in God, you will never have to worry about anything. That's what that bottom part is saying. So let's get Leviticus 21. God said, if you believe me, you're going to keep my commandments. Now, what I'm going to show you a couple commandments to see whether you knew this or you didn't know it. You get what I'm saying? But if you didn't know, now you can apply it today. Go ahead.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5.
Give me a Bible dictionary.
They shall not make boldness upon their head.
So one of the first law God said in this scripture that we read, it said not to make baldness upon our heads. Now I'm not saying you got bald, I don't know what your head look like. But in the Bible, when you read it, it's talking about bald head. Today you see Michael Jordan, you see Shaquille O'Neal, what's some other guys? LL Cool J, Tyrese, all these different men that take that big razor, make their head shiny bald like the Egyptians. God said no. Us, we're not supposed to do that. All right, so read it from the top.
They shall not make boldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
Another law said, hold that, God said not to shave off the corner of your beard. As you see out here, look at all the men out here. We all have our natural line grown out. Now, I don't know how your beard grows, but I can tell you shaving it from how the stubble's growing in. God said not to shave your beard. I'm going to show you the importance of having a beard on your face, all right? Go ahead.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Beard. A badge of manly dignity.
What?
A badge of manly dignity.
So what does that mean, bro? If a beard is a badge of manly dignity, if you got a bald face, what is that? Yeah, you don't believe in God, but you ain't looking like a man.
Right.
You have no manly dignity if you have your beard marred off.
That's
you
right,
look like a
right.
woman, because we already know women and children are the only people who don't have hair on their face. You get what I'm saying? But that's the only people who got clean shaven. So God is telling you a beard is a manly badge of dignity. Just like when you see, you ever seen how a lion roam in the jungle? Yeah. We all seen lions, right? You have the woman and then you have a man. How do you know the difference? The mane. The older they get, that thing get fuller and thicker and longer. Guess what? God is telling you the same thing, because guess what? The tribe of Judah, the Most High, what's the word I'm looking for? Our animal symbol is a lion. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be a lion of Judah without your beard on your face. You get what I'm saying? That's your manly badge of dignity. And I'm not sure if you knew, when we came off the ships, that's the first thing they did to us. They shaved our whole bodies. They shaved your face, and then what did they call you? They didn't call you by your first name. What did they call us? Boy. Because guess what? Now you look like a boy. They took your dignity from you. They shaved your face. They took your children. They split up your family. They conquered you as a nation. Then they called you boy.
That's right.
They wasn't going to leave that beard on your face because they know what it does. We got to understand that the laws of God are spiritual.
Right.
Everything, when you start applying God's commandments, it changes your spirit. And I'm going to show you that a little bit later, all right? So finish that off.
As a sign of mourning, it was the custom to pluck it out or cut it off. The Israelites were for
who?
The Israelites,
Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans,
That's right.
were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards.
God said not to shave it off. The corner is right here, bro. So you see how the natural line grows? You're not to make it skinnier. You're not to shave it off. If your beard grows and it stops under your neck, right here, guess what? That's your beard. God said let that natural line grow. It's okay to trim it. Like you can trim it down and have it low, make it look clean. That's fine. Because when you read in the Bible, people trim their beards. But you're not supposed to shave it off. That's the law of God. Now today, you might, did you know that? Let me ask you that question first. You didn't know that. So now that you know that God says it's a manly badge of dignity, do you understand? You understand why he says let it grow? Okay, all praises. You gonna start growing your beard?
Probably because it was regarded as a heathenish sign.
What is a bald face?
A heathenish sign.
A heathenish sign. We know we ain't heathen, right? The Gentiles is not us. We know that. That's the other nations. That's an Egyptian custom to have a bald face and be all oiled up for another person, another man, to be honest. That's what they was doing. That's not our customs, all right? Let's go back to Leviticus. Read that one more time.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
And our bottom part is going into tattoos. Like some of us, you might see some of the brothers, we had tattoos back in the world. But once we learned that that was the law of God, that's also an Egyptian custom. We stopped getting tattoos. You get what I'm saying? Because again, that's scarring up your body, just destroying your temple. Even the process of scarring up is literally putting scars on you to make it permanent underneath layers. I'm telling you because I got a body full of them. You know what I'm saying? And once I learned that that was the law of God, immediately I was like, nah, bro, I don't need nothing. I'm good. I don't need no more tattoos. You get what I'm saying? But that's a part of the process of repenting that you start to learn. Give me that in Psalms 19 real quick. 19 and 7. Because I mentioned the laws of God will start to change your spirit. I'm going to show you that real quick. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect.
God said the laws of the Lord is perfect. So let me ask you a question. If you want to obtain perfection, what must you do? You go to God, exactly, 100%.
Converting the soul.
What is the law?
Converting the soul.
God said the laws of God is what converts your soul. Now let me make it simple for you, right? I grew up and I've been in church when I was growing up the Baptist church, right? You say you grew up in church. When I grew up, how come we was in the church, but we still was whoremongers? Right. We still had hatred for our brothers. Some of us were still smoking weed in churches. We had the wrong leaders. We didn't have God's commandments. That's all right, because it said the laws of God is the only thing that changes your soul. So guess what? So when you're in a Christian church and you go to the club Saturday night and then Sunday morning you in the church, you ain't changed nothing. If you got 5 baby mamas, guess what? You didn't change nothing if you go to that church. The pastors in the church having sex with the congregants. Congregants having sex with each other. Everybody smoking weed, celebrating Christmas, all these other doctrines. Guess what? The church has not changed the minds of our people. Because guess what? If I ask anybody in the church, what does Christ look like? You know what they'll tell me? First person might say, oh, it don't matter. The second person gonna say, look like this guy. And then as soon as I say, no, he was a black man, you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna go back to, well, you know, he was all colors. He was everything. Oh, it really don't matter. No, Christ walked the earth. Christ was a man. He had a father. He had mother, brothers, and sisters. They hung him on the cross. So how did they pierce his hands and his feet if he didn't have a body? You get what I'm saying? That's not having God's commandments what makes our people think that way. So go back to that top. Read it from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
So how do you change your soul? If you want to change your spirit, what must you start to do? Try to change it. But how do we learn to change our mind? By applying what? Exactly, applying the commandments. Perfect.
The testimony of the Lord is sure.
It said the Bible is sure. Everything in the Bible is sure. When it says it's going to change you, it means it's going to change you, and it is what it is. Read.
Making wise the simple.
It does what?
Making wise the simple.
God said it makes the wise, making the simple-minded people to a wise people. Our people, the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when it says simple, by the way, that means stupid. We are stupid people when we don't have God's commandments. We're dumb as, I'm telling you, dumb as a bucket of rocks. I'm going to tell you why. Because we'll go have sex with 3 women, and not only do we, some men try to wear protection like it's going to help, but it's not. But the fact is, we'll have sex with multiple women and then be surprised when we catch AIDS. You have sex with multiple women and then get surprised when you get gonorrhea. You get a sister pregnant. Oh, well, I don't want no kids. Well, why are you having sex if you don't want to have kids? You see how simple that is? That's right. We march and protest for equal rights, then we kill each other. Bring it out. We get mad when a white man kill us, but we have hatred toward our own brothers and sisters. We disrespect our own parents. Our own kids, our own children, we don't take care of them, but we get mad when somebody else disrespects us. That's simple. That's very simple. You know what I'm saying? Look around. You can see how the trash is on the ground. We don't even take care of our own neighborhoods. We don't. We go outside, we drink beers, we leave it on the ground. That's not, but you don't see other nations' neighborhood look like that. Just ours. Just out, exactly. That's to show you that God, Exactly. Even that, to your point, we don't even gather together whatsoever at all. That's why God said the commandments of God makes the wise, or makes the simple wise. Only the commandments of God can do that. Because that's the only thing that changed the men that you see today. We tried everything, bro. I tried a couple doctrines. And guess what? I ended up finding the truth, and I was like, yeah, bro, this is it. This is the only thing that made me stop doing what I was doing. All right? What you got? What'd you say? Which one? Talking about Romans 12? 12 and 2. Yes, sir. Let's get that real quick. Let's get that.
Bring it out!
Yeah, let's read that real quick. Romans 12. Let's get that. Romans 12 and verse 2. And then I want to show you two more scriptures before I...
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2.
Bring it out!
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Just to your same point, God said not to be conformed to this world. This world says, exactly, this world does what? They celebrate birthdays, which is against God's commandments. You know, it's a lot of stuff that we learned that's against God. Mainly this image right here that you see. That's being conformed to this world, thinking that Christ looked like that when the Bible says otherwise. And many of our people, you can show our people in the Bible, bro, what Christ looked like, and they'll still say, well, I don't care. They'll still go and bow down and worship that image after you read it in the Bible that they say they believe. They still gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Go ahead.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
1 Corinthians 11 real quick. I see you got to go, right? Let me get you this last scripture for you. I'm gonna show you one more law. So I know you're about to leave, but when you go home for future reference, you must start to apply this commandment. You must apply this, all right? Because this is another way your spirit will start to change. The Most High will only open your understanding if you're keeping the commandments of God, all right? Go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 3.
Hold on. Remember, he that believeth does what? He keeps, exactly, he obeys. He take heed to the commandments. All right, go ahead.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
You believe that, right?
And the head of the woman is the man.
You understand that, right?
And the head of Christ is God.
So God set up the hierarchy, the order. You got Most High God, Christ, man, woman, and then the children, right? That's the order that God set up. You believe in that? Go ahead.
Every man praying, every man.
Now he says every man
praying or prophesying.
If you're praying at home, if you're prophesying, meaning you're reading the scriptures, you're listening to the scriptures, read. So that means, like right now, you're listening to the scriptures, right? We're in the midst of prophecy. Go ahead.
Having his head covered. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered.
Having the hat on.
Dishonored his head.
What does that mean? No. It said nothing about natural hair. Read that last part again.
Having his head covered.
If you're praying, prophesying, the Bible's coming out, the scripture's coming out. If your head is covered, it's not talking about hair. It's talking about literally, like you put a hat on, you put a do-rag, you put a mitre, something like that. Go ahead.
Dishonored his head.
So what does that mean? It's simple. I promise you it's not deep. You know it.
Well, I feel like what you're saying is in order for get the blessing of God, you shouldn't have your head covered. It dishonors you, as a man.
No. So remember the order we read in verse 3? It says that the head of man is Christ.
Right.
So it's saying every man, now it's addressing us. Every man praying or prophesying, if you're in the midst of prophecy, and you have your head covered, something on top of your head, meaning a hat, you're dishonoring your head. Your head is Christ. That's our head is Christ. So it's not to say nothing about growing hair or blessing. Yeah, you won't get blessed because you're in the midst of sin. But that's a commandment that when you hear the Bible, you're supposed to do what? Which means you're supposed to do what? There you go.
That's right.
You're supposed to take your head, everything off your head when the scriptures come out. You understand that? So if we was to right, you understand it now? So guess what? If we was to continue to go in the scriptures and go into more scriptures, what would you do? You should take your hat off, right? Okay. So you about to go right now? Okay. All right, you got to fly, right? You got to fly. Hey, we got contact information on the back. At the bottom right, you see the address. We got a number, YouTube, Facebook. You can look us up on the internet. All right, any questions, bro? Nice to meet you again, man. Yes, sir.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.